According to a recent article in the Wall Street Journal, Cape Coral is now officially the worst housing market in America. But is it? Today, we're going to take a look at that very question. This channel focuses on everything to do with living in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking about buying a home, selling a home, or just have questions about real estate or the area in general, call or text me at 239-450-5786. If you've been tuning in to this channel for any period of time, you know that I try to take a glass half full attitude toward the real estate market. I try to stay away from the gloom and doom headlines because the reality is that homes are buying and selling every single day. It's just a matter at what pace they are and really what price they're selling for. Is the market in Southwest Florida booming? No, it's not. It's kind of a slow market, but homes are selling every single day. And when we look at the numbers, as we will see in the coming weeks market updates that I do, you're going to see that we are kind of returning to a somewhat normal pace. Is Cape Coral struggling? Yes. Is Fort Myers and the rest of Florida struggling? Yes. But also the rest of the country is not exactly booming. When you look at the headlines, don't get fooled by multiple offers being placed on homes across the country. The reality is those areas have still very low amount of inventory. The few homes that are on the market are being multiple offered by the few buyers that are on the market. Doesn't mean that it's a booming real estate market. Last year, over 70% of real estate agents across the country didn't sell more than one home the entire year. Now, I've been fortunate to be active throughout this downturn, and I appreciate all of you that are a part of that. But can we call Cape Coral the worst market in America? My opinion is no. Let's take a look at what I think are the factors that are playing into the Cape Coral market. And then we're going to dive into the actual MLS and take a look at some real numbers and allow you the opportunity to make an opinion for yourself. I've got to be honest, when I saw this headline, it kind of made me angry. I'm getting tired of all the negative fear factor headlines on social media and YouTube. All they're meant to do is to create fear and cause you to click the link or to watch the video so that they benefit. I try not to do that with my YouTube channel. I try to give you honest information with a glass half full type attitude. I don't think the real estate market is coming to an end. I don't think that there's going to be a huge crash anytime soon. If anything, when we look at the trending numbers that are going to be released here in about a week, we're seeing that the market is stabilizing and active. But when you see headlines like this, you do just have to address it. When I saw this headline, I knew that I had to do this video. I wanted to give you my honest opinion, but more importantly, I wanted to give you the straight facts so that you could decide whether you think it's a good time to buy or sell in Cape Coral. Honestly, I think it's a great time to buy, but if you've owned your home for less than 3 or 4 years in Cape Coral, it's not the time to sell. Let me just be clear on that. If you bought your home after COVID in Cape Coral, you should do everything you can do to hold on to it for a little bit. When buyers return to the market, then is the time to hit the market. Buyers, it's time. Take advantage of this current market we're in, and you can always refinance when interest rates go down. But let's get into the data. Let's take a look at what I think is driving the market in Cape Coral. Number one, hurricanes. Everybody's tired of them. Yes, we've had 2 major hurricanes that have impacted Cape Coral in the last 2 years. One of them was a direct hit in Hurricane Ian. The flooding was bad. The damage was incredible. Yes, it was horrible. But honestly, when you look at the rest of the country, other areas, look at the headlines. Texas just had a devastating flooding. North Carolina is flooded today from a tropical storm. The North gets blizzards. I remember as a kid, we had a ice storm so bad that we were without power for a week. And then you read headlines that there's been over 1,100 tornadoes this year. Weather and catastrophes happen everywhere. One benefit about hurricanes is our homes are built for them and you have advance notice. Next reason is the end of remote jobs. A lot of homeowners here in the area moved to Florida to get away from the big cities during or after, right after COVID, to escape. Their companies said, we'll do the remote work thing. But now the dust is settling and companies are saying, you know what, we tried it, we don't like it, we want you back or you don't have a job. So individuals that moved here are having to sell their homes to move back in order to keep their jobs, which leads to money. The US economy crisis from 2023 on has not ended. Gas prices are still high. Food costs are higher than they've ever been. We just had the egg shortage drama. You name it. The economy still is not exactly where we hope it to be. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? We certainly hope so. It certainly seems to be trending better, but we're not in the clear yet. And let's talk about the cost of homeownership. Insurance costs are up. Taxes are up. Now, our taxes are better than other parts of the country, yes, but home ownership costs are up. Costs to maintain your home are up a lot. Between materials and cost of labor, it is more expensive to repair and maintain a home than it has ever been. The next item is the investors that bought like crazy during COVID and after COVID with the low interest rates, speculating that the rental market would be great and that the short-term or vacation rental boom would continue. They are selling off because of it just didn't happen. Between apartment complexes going up and the economy, rentals become a struggle, and the changes to the vacation rental rules of Cape Coral made it no longer the cash cow that everybody thought it was going to be. So when profits go down, investors sell off. And finally, way too much speculative building. The investors have gone all in like crazy, and some of the big builders in the area have gone in with them in building homes, spec homes all over Cape Coral. And they are pushing a lot of inventory onto a market that already has high inventory because of individuals selling their homes for all the reasons that we've just talked about. So there's my factors or my reasons that I think that the market is adjusting. It's not crashing. Cape Coral's market is not crashing. It is adjusting. And we're going to see that it's not as bad as everybody's making it, but it's not good. Let's be clear. It is not a great time to sell your home in Cape Coral. Great time to buy your home. Call or text me at 239-450-5786. Again, when I do these market updates, I don't apply any filters. You're looking at all the raw data. Median sales price, June 2025. Remember, median is that middlemost sale number, 361,000 for June 2025. Let's look at some historical numbers. June 2022, 429,000, 213,000. That isn't quite the peak yet, but it's getting there. June of 2020, this is mid-COVID, 239,950. June of 2018, 230,000. So you can see that we are nowhere close to the pricing of 2020, let alone 2018. So people that say that we're going to be down in these numbers here, it's fear factor, folks. I'm sorry, it's just plain fear factor. You'll see that the numbers are nowhere near where we were even in 2020. So now let's look at some of the sample data. I want to give you what the numbers actually look like. How do they come up with these numbers? Now, I didn't go and find the median number. What I wanted to do is give you a consistent look of a market snapshot, 1,500 square feet to 1,550 square feet. It's a great middle number to give you an idea of what the market is actually doing. Let's go reverse from what we just did. 2018, June 2018, 230,000, remember, was the median number. 17 homes sold. Now here, the highlighting, blue highlighter is it's sold for asking price. The yellow is above asking price. Now, we were not in a market like we were in 2022 where there was a lot of over offer made. What you saw here is that there was a strategy that helped buyers that didn't have a ton of cash on hand, like FHA buyers or even VA or some of the other programs. We would offer full price or a little bit above, and we would then ask the seller to contribute toward closing costs. It was a way of helping the buyer and the seller meet and get the home sold. So you see here that the ones that are over an asking price are just barely over, and it really indicates more than likely closing cost contributions. Same story here in 2020. You have median price at 239,950, 22 homes sold, and again, very few over asking price, and they're just a bit over. This one here was $10,000 over asking price, but again, more than likely it was closing costs. June 2022, and again, remember, this is kind of the middle of the peak. It's not the peak yet, but it's getting there. And we are in a market where individuals are making offers, they're competing for homes, there's low inventory, interest rates were in the low threes, and sometimes even the twos, and people would make an offer of $30,000 over, it would get accepted. Then the next house would come on the market, would start at that $30,000 over asking price, and then they'd get $20 or $30 or $50,000 over asking price, and then that next home came on the market would be there, and that's how we stepped up and stepped up and stepped up like crazy value increases, but it was artificial. It was a boom and it forced values up. That's why I'm saying if you bought a house in Cape Coral after 2020, you shouldn't be selling yet unless you absolutely have to, because that is why you're hearing about sellers being upside down. The market is adjusting back to where the slope should have been. 2025. Actually, let me back up to 2022 again here. And just to show you the evidence. So, right here, 499,000 list price, sold for 532,000. 474,900, sold for $500,000. 439, 46, 399,000, 415,000. You get the point. Homes were being sold for above asking price constantly. And then here are the ones that are, there's a lot of list price too. There was just a ton of competition, and buyers were doing whatever they could do to get the homes that they wanted to buy. June 2025, 11 homes sold in Cape Coral in this 1,500 to 1,550 square foot range. Again, basically you're seeing two homes that were at list price. They're both new construction homes. Builders don't tend to negotiate as much. And this one was $100 over asking price. Not significant, very minor above asking offer. So what about inventory? We have a lot of inventory right now. 3,495 homes on the market in Cape Coral. You can see the curve. More normal is the 24 to 2,500 homes range, when you look at it. But again, there's a ton of more homes built in Cape Coral than there was in 2015. It's amazing how many homes have been built in the last 5-6 years. It's kind of insane, actually. But again, you see here, we are trending back to a more normal pace or market when it comes to that. Median sales price, again, just going back to this here. We have a lot of homes on the market. Pricing is coming down, and we're seeing the adjustment happen. You can see here that historically you have a natural climb increase year over year, increase on uh, median sales price, growth of the real estate market. And then you hit COVID and the craziness that happened. And now we're coming down. We're still above where that trend would be. So is the market horrible? No, it's not. We have inventory, 7.7 months worth of inventory in Cape Coral. It's not horrible anymore. We were up into the nines. Collier County was almost at 12 months of inventory. Crazy record number. Again, it's trending down. Cape Coral is trending down. Lee County is trending down. Some of that is homes that expired or they terminated the listing. Yes, some sellers have pulled their homes off the market. I think that's the wise thing to do unless you have to sell. Buyers, there's still a lot of inventory and you don't have a whole lot of buyer competition. So now is a great time to buy if you're capable. If you're thinking about buying or selling, call me. Text me 239-450-5786 and let's have a conversation about the current market and your specific wants and needs. I'm here to help you achieve your goals. Again, call or text me at 239-450-5786. Thank you for watching. As always, if you're with me to this point and you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified about future videos just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.